which one would it be? Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I think it's time to review a big finish DVD. Oh, I didn't even see you there. I didn't know how this camera mysteriously was here or even recording. This is awkward. Hello and welcome YouTubers and Doctor Who fanatics to the December scheduling list. And now we are starting week 1, which is DVD week. And started off, I hope you are ready for the review of Horror of Fang Rock. So yeah, DVDs have been long waiting to be on this channel now since the last one was in July, Revisitation 3. So now the DVDs are finally back to be reviewed for December and then officially coming back for 2015. So I hope you're ready for the review of more DVDs, starting with Horror of Fang Rock. Hello, welcome YouTubers and Doctor Who fanatics once again to finally a Doctor Who DVD review. And yes, we are starting with December scheduling with Horror of Fang Rock. So yes, I'm going to do my normal procedures just like I do with anything to be reviewed. I'm going to go over the front cover, read the blurb, look inside, like for the booklet and the disc, and then say my overall thoughts and opinions on the story. So let's begin with the front cover art. As you can see by this release, I've got it signed by the brilliant Louise Jameson. She's an absolute delight to meet. She's again absolutely fantastic. And then here with the cover art, we have Tom Baker with a rope around him. We have the lighthouse. We have Fang Rock in the background with the meteorite feature with the routons, and then a very foggy blue, like greenish blue cover art. It looks really nice. It is a U, but I do not believe it is a U. It should be like PG or so. So it's the side like a foggy blueness colour. It's really nice. You can see it's an older DVD since it doesn't feature To Entertain on it. Then we have the back. It is written by Terence Dix. And for the blurb, a mysterious light in the sky, an unnatural glow in the ocean, and a thick fog brings terror to the lighthouse keepers of Fang Rock. When the Doctor and Leela arrive, the first death has already cast doubt on the safety of the lighthouse. But the Doctor discovers something more terrifying, more evil than he could ever imagine. So here we have the special features with the commentary by Louise Jameson, John Abbott and Terence Dix the writer. Terence Dix fan fiction with a writer career spanning 6 decades with special documentaries looks at Terence Dix works for books and television with contributions from many of his friends and colleagues. Paddy Russell, A Life on Television. In his especially short interview, Paddy looks back over her 40 years of career in television as an actress, stage manager and director. Yantaku Doctor Who Show. This short film from 1993 gives an insightful look into the merchandising of Doctor Who, photo gallery, production subtitles and digital master picture and sound quality. The story was originally broadcast on BBC One between the 3rd to 24th of September 1977, produced by Gareth Williams, directed by Paddy Russell, and incidental music by Dudley Simpson. So yeah, that is so the story before this ended Philip Hinchcliffe's era. So if we open it up, we have the booklet and the disc, repeated the same as the front cover itself. We have some writer's notes by there. Then we have some commentaries featured. These are the characters featured in the commentary, whether the special features are already gone through. And then this story is a 4-part. To my overall thoughts and opinions on Horror of Fang Rock. Now in the DVD scheduling, I wasn't going to be reviewing random Doctor Who stories, just put it in the DVD week. I was putting DVDs in this week because they are extremely special to my heart for a number of reasons. For example, Horror of Fang Rock was the first Doctor Who story that I ever watched since I put it in this week. Pyramids of Mars being a very childhood classic in my time, and I always class it as one of my favourite Doctor Who stories ever. Death to the Daleks, it was my first Doctor Who DVD I ever got to start off my collection. Then Beneath the Surface box set, it was because Doctor Who and the Solarians is another childhood classic of mine to introduce me to the Pertwee era. So now, I'm going to go to my thoughts on Horror of Fang Rock, which I say without a doubt is one of my favourite all-time stories ever, and probably one of my favourite all-time Tom Baker stories of all time. I haven't done a top 10 Tom Baker stories yet, but I think it will be definitely close, especially being top 10 and top 5 definitely, but I have not worked it out yet. So let's go to the positives of the story, or maybe like the plot of it really. But the Doctor and Leela land on Fang Rock, a very creepy and thick atmosphere of a place, and already we see some very mysterious things happening and very gruesome, terrifying murders going around with screaming echoing throughout Fang Rock and the lighthouse, and it is mysterious that people are getting killed one by one by a very, very powerful foe in the story, and only featured as a one-off, which is the Rutans, the Sontarans' enemies. So it is the Doctor and Leela's task to take down this powerful foe to stop the murders at Fang Rock. But that is not just their troubles, where they have even more problems ahead later on with the story. So now we come to the positives of Horror of Fang Rock. We come to my favourite positive, definitely, that it is an extremely thick atmosphere and so creepy. And yes, if you did not know, Horror of Fang Rock actually introduced me to the horror franchise throughout, like Hammer House of Horror, Armchair Thriller, all those classic TV horrors which I definitely love and are so passionate to my heart. And that's how Horror of Fang Rock opened those doors to get into the horror franchise, because it is a horror story. What I like is so much with screaming and it just echoes around Fang Rock and the lighthouse, and it's so creepy, so atmospheric, where the Rutan just hunts people and it uses the fog to its advantage, just similar to the Cybermen where they used the shadows to their advantage in the 60s. It is so effective and it works so well, and definitely, yes, the monster, the Rutan, definitely works with the background very well, and how it hunts people, it's brilliant. It's one by one, especially like something from Predators, for example. I just love it how it just hunts people one by one and it just completely vanishes and I don't know where it's gone or who did it, and the murder is in very strange ways. Another positive of the story is that the characters are also brilliant. They're also very entertaining and engaging characters. There wasn't a single one which doesn't really disappoint me really. Now we'll go to the main characters. I haven't talked about Tom Baker or Leela yet. Again, they were absolutely fantastic. Tom Baker was absolutely stunning and fantastic in this story. He just, he did not back down to stop this creature. He didn't show any nerves. He showed full determination to take down the monster. But anyway, he did have full determination, but still he was very worried about this foe and how dangerous it was, since by the way it attacks is instant death pretty much as well. And we learn more about the Rutans as well, that they can actually shapeshift or take control of people. Now with Leela, she is absolutely brilliant in this story yet again, since I got it signed for her, that as well as my first story. Again, that's why I got it signed. Again, she showed a character I do really enjoy. Again, she like completely slaps another woman because she was all scared and that. And I love it when Leela just slaps her to say, knock it off, stop fearing. And like, fear is for the weak. And I like Leela, she's a very strong companion. I don't really like screamy companions, and Leela isn't a screamy companion. She's just strong, ruthless, and doesn't show fear. That's why I do like Leela a lot, and she works very effectively in this story as well. I like it how she threatens the actual monster in the story as well. So, to a final conclusion, it is an absolute brilliant, fantastic Tom Baker story, which I absolutely adore. It is so close to my heart. As I said, it introduced me to Doctor Who and the horror franchise, like House of Horror, Armchair Thriller, and Tales of the Unexpected, for example. So, my rating is a solid 10, and it is in my golden area. I never usually rate anything where it goes into my golden area, but that means it is solid perfection. That is above 10 out of 10. So yeah, I absolutely adore Horror of Fang Rock. It's one of my favourite stories of all time. It's usually like that. The first Doctor Who story you do watch is very close to your heart, and Horror of Fang Rock is definitely one of them. Maybe it might take top spots in my Doctor Who list. We just have to wait and see until I do a list. So thank you very much for watching the review of Horror of Fang Rock. Stay tuned for the next one featured tomorrow, which is Pyramids of Mars. So take care and have a good one. Don't worry, I could just last a couple of days without reviewing anything Big Finish. I can, and I will. How am I gonna do this?